So faster sales. Although this is probably the one that most people think that businesses want, I think this is the hardest one for new businesses to wrap their head around. This is a sales funnel heavily focused on sales exclusively. This is also about revenue and what we call LTV, or specifically density is a word for customer transactions. How often does that single person buy? How often do people buy products? How often do people buy that product? And what is their average sale value? If you can increase all four of those, ideally, you can double the size of your business by actually just increasing each one by 25%. That's really roughly the math. This helps sales. It helps with what we call transaction density. Of course, it's a revenue generator. Who benefits from this the most? People who benefit from this have already got products. They already have a product line. This is not necessarily for businesses that have just got one service or one product. The reason you can get product ideas from the list builder is because let's say that 5% of people are interested in how to make the perfect espresso. There's no reason why this business wouldn't be able to source a load of white label espresso machine stuff, package it up and sell it for 20 bucks or 100 bucks or 300 bucks or whatever it is. That's why it gives you product ideas. If they don't have a product line, it's going to be very difficult to build a faster sales process, because if they're only relying on, like a $5,000 product, there's nothing I can do necessarily with this particular model to help increase that. If, however, they say, actually, we'd be open to the idea of doing a $197 and a $19 product, like a book or some training or some software or free access or whatever, then that's very different. But they have to be open to it, or better yet, have a product line already. They need to be generating leads. Ideally, they're actually already doing something like this. And again, you might be thinking, if they're generating leads, what's the problem? I guarantee you there are businesses out there who are generating leads every single day, building a huge email list and not doing anything with them. We know this to be true. Who here has got an opt-in form that says sign up for our newsletter on your website and then you're not doing anything with them? You've got a product line as well, partly because I'm showing you 3 products here, but you could do email marketing, social media marketing, whatever, everything in between. You've got a product suite, a product menagerie, but you're not doing anything with those leads that you generate. I don't believe it's a marketer's job to get sales. It's about getting leads, then it's up to them. Completely disagree with you, Mallory. That's 100% incorrect. It is absolutely your job to generate sales, 100%. Marketing's job is to make sales irrelevant by generating revenue for the business. If you just want to focus on generating leads, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. If you want to just generate leads for customers, great, that's awesome. If you want to just generate audience, great, that's 100% fine. But a marketer's job is to help people know, like, and trust them. To that point, they end up generating a sale. The sales process is very different. I completely agree with you on that. If you just want to generate leads for people, that's absolutely fine. But a marketer's job can absolutely categorically help people generate sales. I'll tell you, sure as shit, that if you showed this to a salesperson, they start sweating, they go, fuck, what's the point in my role anymore? It sure as hell isn't going to be a salesperson generating this. A marketer in this funnel is going to have to come up with copy. They're going to have to come up with an offer. They're going to have to come up with messaging. They're going to have to make sure that the branding is consistent. They're going to have to make sure that the customer experience is all great, and much, much more. That entire process is getting people to know and trust both the person, as in the customer, and the product. It's not enough to just say, we're just going to generate leads and leave it at that. If your business is just lead generation, great. But marketers should absolutely be generating sales. In fact, the #1 bugbear I have is marketers thinking they're above sales. You could have 20 million leads, but as soon as the bank comes knocking and says, I need you to pay the mortgage, you go, oh, we've got 20 million leads. I don't care. Profit is the #1 goal. All businesses' #1 goal is to make revenue and profit. The #1 goal of all entrepreneurs is to raise capital. That's it. If you believe that your best placement, like your skill set, and that's nothing wrong with your skill set, just being in lead generation, absolutely fine. But to say that marketing is either above or outside of sales is completely incorrect, and a massive perversion of everything that marketing has been working so hard to achieve. But if you've got content and stuff saying otherwise, I'd gladly check it out. So, who? They need to be generating leads already. Essentially, it's the same thing. They want to be converting traffic. You might find that you've got people with an advertising campaign who are already generating leads. They might even have an advertising campaign that's making sales, but at some point you want to see them to be converting traffic. At some point you want to see them converting people who don't know that they exist into someone who's going, I trust you a little bit here and I want to learn more about it. If you've got this, these are the types of people that can generate from this type of product funnel or this type of funnel. Ideally as well, if they've got an audience, that helps as well. But that's not massively necessary. What are the benefits? The biggest one is free advertising. And I'm going to show you how. If you could tell your customers how much do you spend a month or a day on advertising, they say, oh, we spend 10 grand a month on advertising, $1,000 a month on advertising, whatever, $1,000 a day on advertising, doesn't matter. You say, what if I could make that free for you? What if I could make advertising free? What? Yeah, yep. For every $1,000 you put in, you get 1,000 out, minimum. That's a really compelling offer. Not talking about sales funnels, not talking about marketing automation, not talking about tools, not talking about messenger chatbots. How much you spend on advertising? $1,000 a day. What if I could turn that into $1,000 a day? What if I could help you generate leads at cost? What if you could generate sales at cost? The cost of acquisition, CPA, cost per acquisition, is the #1 metric that all businesses need to be looking at outside of profit or revenue, cash flow. CPA is a big one. You ask a customer how much do you pay per customer, they probably won't know. If they do know, you can help lower that cost per acquisition. You can help lower CPA and to an extent cost per lead, but that's slightly harder to work out. Those two there, business is going to be salivating over. Fuck, you can really do that? Yep, and I want to show you how. It's not quick, but it is possible. We've talked earlier about density. You can increase the lifetime value of a customer, or what we call transaction density. I wouldn't use the term transaction density too much unless they're an e-commerce store, because e-commerce will know what a transaction density is. What if they bought sooner? What if I could get more people to buy from you sooner? Most people, as a rule of thumb, this is from Google's data, 0 day of truth. Most people take about 90 days to buy, and they'll take 8 interactions and 4 hours worth of content. That's a lot. What if we could eliminate that and skip that? And this is possible. Here's the flow for this. If someone opts in and a business is currently generating leads, there's a part where the customer says, yeah, I want to sign up. I'm interested in this lead magnet. I'm interested in this piece of content. I'm interested in signing up. They will be, first of all, added to that email list. Here's where we're going to do this differently. Most people will create a little thank you box there that says, thank you, your email is on its way, and they'll keep them on the page. Let's say that this is website.com/freebie. They'll opt in and a little message will come up saying, thank you so much for your opt-in. Thank you so much for your message. Thank you so much. We'll get back to you. That's the first thing people do, which is wrong. Next thing that people do, which is wrong, is they'll redirect them straight away to the PDF. We think that if we send someone to the PDF, they'll be happy. Makes sense. You say, hey, here's the PDF guide. They go, great. Again, wrong. What we're going to do is we're going to redirect them to a thank you page. The thank you page is without a doubt the most underutilized but valuable page in the marketer's arsenal. We say a few things. First of all, we acknowledge. We say, hey, I know that you've just entered your email address. You took a risk. We've got that. We've got your email address. And this is just a tiny lettering up the top. I totally understand. Thanks so much. Great. We've got this. Your email is on its way to the email address you gave us. Make sure to check your spam folder. The next thing we do is we offer bonus training. We say, we've got this really short video. Click play below. Watch this video here. Because I want to teach you, let's say that they've said, I want to find out the best way to make espresso. I want to show you, I've got some bonus training on how to source the cheapest, most ethical ingredients and how to make barista quality coffee at home, even if you don't have a full-sized barista machine. Some bonus training. What that video is a sales letter, or more specifically a VSL. It is a video sales letter selling one of the lower ticket products. You end up dialing this in and you end up essentially playing around with the messaging. It's not going to work. It does sometimes work straight away, depending on whose formula you use. In terms of conversion rates, let's say from this page, you get a 40% conversion rate and you get a 5% conversion rate from this opt-in. 100 people here and 100 people here, you've had 45 go through. This might convert at anywhere between 1% and 3%. So you'd need 100 people to make 1 to 3 sales. Customer is never more likely to buy when the offer is put in front of them. If I say to you, I want to show you how to create, great coffee or the best way to make espresso, your interest in making espresso is highest then. A lot of people go, yeah, now I'm going to let you think about it. I want to make sure that if someone's interested in this, there's obviously enough of a pain point where they thought, I need to fix this. I really want to fix this. I'm going to put in my email address. And for me to say, I've got some bonus training and I've got another product that can help you. I'm not forcing you to take it, but I am saying there's an extra product here that can help you. This here, these sales, the 1 to 3 sales per 100 people, roughly speaking, that equates to what? 60 bucks? If it's a $20 product, we're up to about $50 sale. So that could be as much as 150. You now know that you generate roughly $150 for every 100 people that opt in. Roughly a 45% conversion rate. That means that you have every 220 people roughly is worth $150. You dial it in, obviously you've got to test it, it's not straight away, but this does work. This system here works. For the sake of implementing a thank you page, our customers, and especially for insurance agents, furniture sales, info products, courses, coaching, sports training, sports equipment, bag launches like Holdall, Sack bag launches, this here has basically eliminated their advertising costs because they're able to put every single dollar from this sale here back into advertising because they know that the next sale that they make is going to be where the profit is. Deepak, interesting question. Let me know, Deepak, what do you think a high ticket product is? Tell me what a high ticket product, what's a range for a high ticket product? Because this is one of the biggest, and I've perpetuated this, and I shouldn't have done this. The method to generating what a high ticket sale is no different to generating a low ticket sale. It just takes more time. So people think that it'll only work longer, it'll only work with the shorter term sales. Is high ticket 5 grand, 10 grand, 80 grand, 450,000, 1.6 million? 1.6 million was the single largest sale that we ever made at our agency, was to take over a what do you guys call it? Like timeshare? We don't really have it in the UK. That was pretty much generated through this system. $1.6 million. The reason why we were able to generate this is absolutely due to the sales team, which was us. But we had to take them through this process at some point. We had to say, great, look, if you want us to take care of your email, absolutely fine. It's 25 grand, whatever. But you can absolutely level this up. And there are guys out there who are leveling this up for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Literally the exact same process. Because after someone buys this product, they go, yeah, I want to buy it. They go to the checkout page. They enter in their details. After they buy that, first of all, there'll be an order bump here. I'll also increase it, which is why we call it transaction density. Then I'll redirect them immediately to an even larger ticket. Let's say that this is 20 bucks. This one will then be 200. Now, I personally don't do the whole upsell up. And some of the guys out there with the info products and the launches, they do 10 upsell pages and it's crazy. I'm sure it converts, but I don't think it creates long-term customers personally. But this process of doing one upsell and a second upsell essentially generates the revenue to pay for the rest of your stuff. I would build this into my proposals. I would say, yeah, here's a 25 grand proposal, but if you want to, we have a $100,000 process that will take you even further. Always use a thank you page. Give the link to the PDF. Always use a thank you page. 100%. Give the link to the PDF and then add another offer. No link. The link is sent via the email. So we redirect them to a thank you page. We say, thank you so much. your PDF, your download, your training, software, whatever it is being sent to your email address. I'm going to show you guys, and you can get behind the scenes. I'm going to show you my thank you page that converts about 2%. Here we go. Thank you so much for downloading. Your 49 niche examples are on the way to your inbox right now. Click the play button to watch the bonus training below. Learn the 3-step weird method that shows fast, profitable niche that other funnel builders have ignored. This is then a basically bonus training that then ends up with a sales letter. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be something you're going to do immediately from the get-go. I'm not saying it's going to be something that you're going to be able to create overnight. But your customers, if they have a product line, for the sake of putting an offer in front of someone who's just become a lead, I don't know why we have this aversion to sales. It's a universal thing where people are like, I don't really want to make a sale. Someone's just opted in. I don't want to make a sale. Bullshit. This is the equivalent of you going to the doctor, saying, look, I've got these symptoms. This is where it hurts. Him going, great, we can fix this. Did you also know that you have a stomach ulcer or whatever? And you're going, here's a further prescription. It's a bad analogy because I think we overprescribe, but imagine if the doctor knew that there was something else they could help with, all right? There's the really old adage where the guy starts work for a sporting goods store. He's a friend of a friend and he's a bit of a bum, but the guy said, the owner of the sports store says, yeah, you can come and work for me for a day. It's a commission-based business, so make sure that every sale you make, that's what you're going to be taking home. 8 hours rolls past, the boss goes up to the guy and says, how many sales you made today? The guy says, just the one. It's just one sale? Geez. Yeah, I managed to sell the huge yacht. You sold the huge fishing yacht over there, the $250,000 fishing yacht? Yeah. How the hell did you do that? The guy came in and said, look, I'm looking for some fishing lures. The guy was like, yeah, fishing lures are like 50 cents. So I took him over to the fishing lures. I said, look, if you're looking for new fishing lures, what are you fishing for? He says, we're going to go out the bay. We're going to try and hunt some marlin. Do you have a marlin rod? No, we don't. I need a new rod. I took him over to the rods. When we were at the rods, I said, how many guys are you going with? He said, it's going to be a group of us, 4 or 5 of us. He goes, are you going to be able to keep all your stuff cool? If you catch one of those marlin, have you got like a net? So I sold him a net, and then I sold him a cool box. Before we knew it, I'd upsold him and up. So I sold him a net, and then I sold him a cool box. Before we knew it, I'd upsold him and up to the yacht. I guarantee the guy who bought the yacht was over the moon that someone came along and sold to him. If there's one thing worse than a salesperson pestering you, it's that there's no salesperson coming up whatsoever. This process here says to the people, I completely understand. Thank you so much for downloading your free thing. It's being sent. Sending that email is via ActiveCampaign. Yeah, there's loads that do that. MailChimp can do it, the automation thing. They send the email, but you give them bonus training, which is essentially a video sales letter saying, I want to give you this product. It's not designed to be profitable. It's designed to pay for the cost of acquisition in the first place. You could just build that, just the thank you page. If you had a really tight system for selling that. I'm telling you, it basically allows me to continue advertising at scale.